best right-handed hitters
shirt
of all
he's got
time.
on, by the way.
I do Johnny Mazzell.
Hey, man.
Well, let me ask you this. Here we go. I'm going to go. You're a big basketball guru.
Yeah.
So we'll go to like every kid in the whole wide world. MJ, LeBron.
Or I go Michael.
That's what I'm saying.
I go Michael, and I go
LeBron.
Michael because I want to win. I want rings, man. I want
Have you heard my Space
championships.
Jam argument about the two? All right, I've got two arguments.
But I'll admit that LeBron might be second best of all time.
I
see the greatness that is LeBron, but I don't see the killer that I saw in Kobe.
Well, I mean, it's just like these kids.
And
when Kobe dies, right? All the kids at school want to talk about Kobe. And I one day, just being who I am, might just spark a good conversation. I said,
who's better?
I said, Kobe or LeBron.
And what'd they say?
And the kids are like, LeBron's the best. I'm like, really?
Why?
I was like, why? Is that because he's the only player that played in your lifetime for you to consciously put together a belief? You're only living in your lifetime.
I've mentioned this a couple times. I'm working right now
Recency bias.
I'm working on an argumentative paper on why the 2010s basketball is not better than the 1990s. And the whole premise of it is, my English professor loved the sentence I used. It's the narrative that today's game, bigger, faster, and stronger, is better than, and that players in the 90s and early 2000s
Jordan will be coming off the Hornets
couldn't play
bench
today.
I mean,
Exactly.
before you get to it, you're going to say,
I mean, Michael Jordan averaged 30
Wilt
points.
Chamberlain or Zion Williamson, or Shaq, young Shaq, or Zion Williamson.
That's
who's
exactly
the
what it's going
I mean,
to be.
because the kids are going to say, Shaq.
Well,
Shaq
they're already doing it with Zion and Charles Barkley.
Well, like
there's going to be a lot of LeBron fans in about 10 years, Philip. They're going to hate all the Zion people.
Well,
because
it's just like this.
10 years.
Like I had a kid the other day tell me, he's like, Vince Carter ain't crap, coach. And I'm like, I was like, why? I was like, tell me why. Like, give me your defense.
And it's probably just what he's seen now.
He's just kind of old, and he don't move well. I said,
because
you know
he
how
didn't
long
play
he's
at
been in
one
the
point.
I said, so Derek Jeter, he's terrible. Like, that's what you're saying. Derek Jeter's worst shortstop ever played, because all the shortstops you have now in today's baseball, all that Derek Jeter can't be crap, right? And I was like, and I waited for the response, and I was like, no, Jeter's the GOAT. And I'm like, okay. I was like, so Tom Brady's the GOAT, right? And they were like, yeah, he's pretty good. I was like, so when such and such comes out, I said, Trevor Lawrence, for instance, and Tebow conversation. Trevor Lawrence hadn't lost but one game in his college career. How many games did Tim Tebow? I said, so who's better? And then you get the crickets. And it's like, well, Trevor Lawrence, look at what Clemson's done. I'm like,
Tim Tebow's got 2 national championships.
It's better than Tebow. I said, so SEC versus ACC, which one's a better conference? The kids are like, SEC. I say, then how's Trevor Lawrence better?
I agree.
Than Tebow.
The
kids.
I think Trevor Lawrence is kind of overhyped. That's
I'm just
me.
saying, but like when you think in the theory of sport, you're like, man,
it's hard to argue with someone who's never seen something, and I don't understand why.
See, I didn't see Michael play. I just go off statistics.
I'm just glad we don't actually listen to our elders and or people who've actually like anytime if Philip, have you seen, I don't know, a line? Yeah, well, and you haven't. I will listen to your opinion about which is more dangerous, a lion or a kitty cat.
Exactly.
Hunter might know, but this guy definitely knows.
Right.
And that's what aggravates people about some of the Michael and LeBron
See,
stuff.
I didn't see Michael, but we have YouTube. We have Hardwood Classics. You can watch it. You can see the killer instinct that's there.
Like your common new, like your new fans today, how many of them are real fans?
No, they're not.
I mean, you don't have those diehard. You don't have like, Kevin always jokes, but you don't have that Cleveland Brown fan that's been a Cleveland Brown fan since birth in 1973.
Oh, they like Baker
that has rode with the Browns through the mud.
They pull for the players now because they move around. All right, let me give you my LeBron Michael argument. You can make this without ever mentioning the NBA.
Okay,
ready? Which one's got a college national championship? Which one was college?
Michael as a freshman.
Which one was college player of the year?
Michael.
Which one has more gold medals?
Michael.
Which one has a bronze medal?
LeBron.
LeBron shamed America back in 2004 by losing the gold medal to the Argentinians.
Yeah.
This country has never not won the gold medal with professional athletes. Ever. We only not won it once, and that was in 88. And we got rid of all the kids and brought in, guess who? Michael Jordan. Yeah. Now, with that said, so there's you two things. We've talked Olympics and we've talked college. We still ain't talked NBA. Now, the most important one is Space Jam theory, Philip. You've seen Space Jam, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what happens in Space Jam? Michael Jordan has to play a basketball game to save all humans from being slaves,
Yeah,
right?
True.
And the reason we sent Michael was because he was the greatest.
Yeah.
He had never lost.
Muggsy Bogues lost his. I mean, look at all the players, the studs of the time that
Right.
lost all their powers.
His.
And
Patrick
so,
Ewing
so
wasn't he in
we
it?
sent Michael to save Earth.
Yeah.
Space Jam 2, we're supposed to be sending LeBron to save Earth. This dude's 3-6. We're in trouble, Philip. This is all what this is now. This is Space Jam.
Who's on his support cast? That's my question.
I'm just
what is
saying.
Michael needed Bugs,
I know.
Daffy, Lola, and Porky, and
and
save
don't feel Bill Murray.
and,
We gotta
and,
get
yeah,
Bill
we had
Murray
Bill
in
Murray, and
there.
save the human race. And we're sending out the dude who's 3-6. Why are we not sending out Kevin Durant
Yeah.
and Steph
Because he has
and
coronavirus.
Steph Curry? Well, I guess he does.
And Steph Curry, he's injured, so
That's what I'm saying.
Speaking
Why
of-
aren't we sending people who haven't
Speaking of, did you
lost
see
more
what
than
was
they've
it?
actually won?
Four Lakers also tested positive for it.
Yeah.
It was
it's the group showers, man. That's what gets you.
That's exactly what it is.
But
man,
the group
look,
E's, maybe not the group.
like, to me, with Michael, and obviously I didn't get to grow up watching Michael, and I've grown up watching LeBron.
The
and
only
I'll
defensive
and I
player
can
of the year
admit-
guard in 40 years.
I was about to say, look,
There's another one.
people don't
LeBron ain't
like
never been
people don't
defensive
like
player of the year.
statistics, but sometimes they don't lie. And I'm looking at a 10-time scoring champion.
Yeah.
The all-time leading score. Think about this, Hunter. The all-time leading score per game, and he did not shoot 3-pointers at
No,
a
see,
guard.
that's-
As a
Yeah.
guard,
See, that's one of the
and he
main
did not.
arguments that I
He
make.
averages more than anyone has ever averaged in a basketball game, and he
And
didn't
it
shoot
wasn't a-
threes. And
Yeah.
let me finish. Who was it against? If he got by his defender, who was hand checking, well, there are 7-footers in the lane waiting to block shots. Today, if you get by the guard who's not hand checking you, is there anyone in the
No, they'll
lane
clear
to
the lane
block
for you.
shots?
No,
Or better yet, there's no Euro step. There's
What
no
would
touch.
his average have been with a Euro step and no touch him?
What about the touch fouls?
Can't touch
or
him.
flopping? But
like
it
I just look,
but it
three
would've broke my heart
times.
if he'd have
He's a
flopped.
3-time steal champion. Okay,
What about his assist? I mean,
LeBron was
he
never
shared
a
the
Five a
steals
wealth.
game.
I mean,
he averaged 5 a game.
but I mean, that's sharing the wealth because really and truly, he could have easily just went for 80 a night.
Okay, so that's the deal. So what happened?
LeBron 6-time All Defense to Michael's 9-time All Defense. People wanted to say all the time LeBron would play offense and then come down and guard the best player when he was younger. Well, obviously he didn't do it enough because he's only a 6-time defensive player, and that we all know good and well they don't play defense today like they did in the
No,
90s.
they only play that when it's April, when it's time for the
when it's
the
when it's
finals.
pro
yeah,
time.
like they'll
yeah.
play.
They're
they'll play
they're
in the end.
buddy. Everybody's
Yeah.
buddy now. Michael Jordan go out on
Scotty
the court,
would guard.
he hates you.
Scotty would guard the main ball handler.
Yeah.
And then Mike would guard the best scorer is how they would do that. But
And then
Most points-
Rodman and Kerr would sit down in the post and bang. And then what?
I mean, I got a 3 times final MVP to he's 6-0 and was the finals MVP every time. and I want people to remember this. This is one of the arguments I've made too. I had to make sure I threw this blip into it because I know I'm not doing an individual comparative paper. It's just the leagues as a whole in the 90s and the 2010s. But I had to bring up that everybody likes to compare eras, especially when it comes to Jordan and LeBron.
Yeah.
I want people to remember Michael Jordan retired twice now in his prime.
Yeah.
He retired twice.
The counting stats with Michael are tough because he did retire.
He retired
And
twice.
When he
So-
came
so
back,
that's-
Jordan 45.
so when you
he
said
came
someone-
back that time, it was
So when people use the argument of the more points than Michael, be like this. Well,
I agree.
Say, well, guys, guess what? Karl Malone's got more points than Michael too, and he don't have a single ring. He played the same time Michael.
That's
He
the
got
thing.
beat twice by Michael. So you can count all your points all you want.
Like, the accumulative points just comes about who's going to play the longest. Eventually, if
For
you
the most
play
part.
20 years, I expect
Kareem
you
played
to
about
have
20,
everything.
24 years or something.
LeBron's
like
in
that. I
year
think.
17. Michael, if I'm not mistaken, only played 15 years.
okay. But you tied
For
in
the
this,
most, yeah.
like if Derek Jeter came back to baseball today,
Right.
would he be pinnacle top leading, or would it take him time? I mean, they said when Michael Jordan would just be bored at work, counting his money, hanging out in his thing, he would go in there with the Hornets, the modern age Hornets, like just a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And run inter squad with them, and those guys would have quotes about it. He is a dog. He is still the GOAT. He is still. I mean, when Kimba's sitting there and he is like the franchise face of everything for the Hornets at the time, and he's like, I don't want any of that. Like he's still like when you have your prime player in your organization saying, "Yeah, that's the guy." He could come
it's
back
just
today
tough,
and help
man,
us.
because people forget he retired twice. He won 3 straight, retired for a season, came back and won another 3 straight.
it.
Could you imagine we'd be sitting here talking 7, maybe 8 in a row if he doesn't retire?
How many times did LeBron win 3 in a row?
LeBron's never won 3 in a row.
All right.
Probably won't.
Did he win 2 in a row?
He did
they
win 2 in a row.
two?
They
All
were
right.
going for the
The Heatles
three-peat
won 2
with
in
the
a row?
with the Heatles.
All right, Philip,